أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته and welcome to another one of your G2 classes. I hope and pray that everyone today is doing well and keeping safe, and I hope that this class is beneficial for each and every one of you. Now, just before we start the class, can everyone please just make sure that their video is off? You can do that by checking on your phone where the video icon is, and please make sure it has a red line across it at all times during the meeting. Make sure that you have signed in using the correct IDs. If you have used the incorrect IDs, you will be placed into the waiting room, and you will not be let in until you have signed in with the correct ID. And again, if there are any questions or queries, then you can email us on ukquranclass@gmail.com, and feel free to also visit our website ahmadiyya.uk/NQC. So, today is Thursday, and according to our lesson today and our plan, we will obviously start our class with an opening dua. We will be focusing on the rule that was actually covered in yesterday's class, the rule of Mudu, and we will then practice the text that we practiced yesterday, which is Surah An-Naba. You will be going through the letters of the day, which I will go into more detail in later on in the class, and then inshallah we will finish the class after summarizing it, and I will assign you the homework, and then we will have the closing dua inshallah. So that is genuinely the agenda for today. So as always, we will start the class with an opening prayer recited by a student. Assalamu alaikum, co-host.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, may I please have a student on the mic to recite the opening dua?
Yes, please. Yeah, our participant is G2201.
Okay, G2201. Assalamu alaikum. G2201. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Cool.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so
May I be ठीक alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for asking. Okay, can you please start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite this following prayer for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي علمني ما هو خير إن يك
Jazakallah khair. And may you please recite the English translation for me?
Oh my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge.
Well done, very nicely recited. I just want to add here, this is a dal. It looks a bit more rounder than usual, but it's a dal. So just repeat after me. Daka.
Daka.
Perfect. Very nicely recited. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so we are just going to start off now by looking at the rule that was covered yesterday. You guys will already have a bit of an awareness of how this rule is, like what this rule is, how it's incorporated in the Quran. So we're just going to quickly recap this rule, and then inshallah we will move to the practice text. Now, if I could please make sure that everyone's mic is muted so that any background noise is disrupted. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so we normally know that if there is a kasra, dhamma, or fatha, we normally only prolong it for 1 second, okay? So for example, over here we have a ba, yes? And the ba has got a fatha on top. So when we are reciting it, we would just say ba, okay? We're just saying it for 1 second. But the rule that you learned yesterday, the rule of Mudud, it said that if there is an alif that has got no sukoon on it, so an alif with no jazm on it, And I've highlighted the jazm here for you already, so you know what a jazm looks like, a sukoon. If there is a blank alif, so an alif that's got no jazm, no sukoon on it, and the letter before that has got a fatha on top, then you will prolong it for 2 seconds. So you might ask yourself, well, ba has only got a fatha on top, so why are we prolonging it for 2 seconds? Because here we only prolonged it for 1 second. You will say to yourself that the letter after it is a blank alif. And if the letter after it is a blank alif, then you will have to prolong it for 2 seconds. So even though this letter's got a fatha on top, the letter before that is a blank alif. And that's the whole reason why we'll prolong it for 2 seconds. So if I was reading the Quran, I will recite this as ba, and I'll say that one more time for you. Ba. Okay, so here you can already see the difference. You have a ba for just 1 second because it's only got a fatha on top, and you have ba. Here we're prolonging it for 2 seconds because here's where the alif mud has joined in. Okay, this alif, this blank alif, if due to the blank alif we prolong for 2 seconds, then it's automatically known as an alif mud. Just a side note, in Arabic, we call this rule mudud, like elongation of these letters, mudud. But if you were to say in Urdu, it would be haruful mud, okay? You can refer to it as either one. So you can use it as the Arabic way, you can use it the Urdu way, just look at which one you feel more comfortable with. So haruful mud is in Urdu and mudud is in in Arabic. Looking at the next example, we can see ta has got a fatha a dhamma on top. Initially, we would just recite it for 1 second, okay? We will say tu. I'll repeat that for you. Tu. So I'm only saying this for 1 second. But here you can see that there is a vowel, okay? And a vowel has got a jazm on top. Here you will ask yourself, if the letter before the vowel sakin has got a dhamma on top, then we will prolong it for 2 seconds. So let's look at this example. We can see there is a vowel sakin, letter before that has a dhamma, and therefore we know that we will prolong it for 2 seconds. And this automatically now is a vowel mud. So with an alif, with a blank alif, there should be a fatha before, and with a vowel sakin, there should be a dhamma before the letter, joining onto the vowel sakin. So if I sort of give you an example of this is how you would say tu. So now we're prolonging it for 2 seconds, and I'll repeat that again for you. Tu. Okay. So again, let's look at the difference. Tu, just for 1 second, and tu for 2 seconds. And you also went through the rule of yamad. Okay, so let's just look at a letter which has got a kasra underneath. Here we have an alif with a kasra underneath. We will only prolong it for 1 second, yes? So I will say e. So I'm only saying it for 1 second. But if there is a letter that's got a kasra underneath and the letter after that is a ya sakin, then you prolong it for 2 seconds, okay? So let's try that. E. As you can see, I'm prolonging it for 2 seconds. I'll recite that one for you again. E. Okay? So this is genuinely the rule of mudud. You have yamad, vawmad, alifmad. There are 3 letters that are part of the mudud rule, and you prolong it for 2 seconds, looking at what the letter before that has got on top. So if there is a blank alif, the letter before that has got a fatha, then you prolong it for 2 seconds. If there is a vowel sakin, the letter before that has got a dhamma, you will prolong it for 2 seconds. And if there is a ya sakin, the letter before that has a kasra underneath, then you will prolong for 2 seconds. However, if there is only just such a letter that hasn't got a ya vowel or alif after it, and it's just got a fatha, dhamma, or kasra, you will only prolong it for 1 second. So this is the rule. Just remember, mudud is the Arabic way of saying it, and haruful mad is the Urdu way of saying it. You can refer to it as however you like. Okay? Now, if I turn to done this slide. Just give me 2 seconds. Participants are entering, so I have to wait for that to be done. Perfect. So yesterday, when you guys were practicing the text, you guys are already aware we were reciting Surah An-Naba, and you all reached up to verse 40. Yeah. Today we're going to complete this surah. Okay, so the 2 lines that I left, and we will basically be going over it again so that everyone has a chance to come on the mic to practice with me, and so that everyone is able to, include all the rules that they have learned so far within their recitation. Okay, so co-host, may I please have a student on the mic to help me recite this surah?
Oh, yes. Our next student is G2113.
Yep, G2113. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome.
How are you today?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so what we're going to do is I will recite a part of the verse, and then you can you can listen to my recitation and you can use that to help you to recite this verse, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So I will start with Tawud and Tasmiyah, and you will do that after me, yeah?
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا. Have a go, please.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna anzarnakum azaban qarib.
Well done. Just say قريبا.
Qariba.
Very nice. Very nicely recited, mashallah. I'm just going to talk to you a bit about these rules in the end, so that we are well aware of how we need to prolong them. Okay, let's move forward. يوم ينظر المرء ما
Yawma yanzurul mar'u ma
Very nice, mashallah. قدمت يداه
qaddimat yadahu
No worries, just recite that once again for me, please.
qaddamat yadahu
Very nice.
wa
Perfect. Do you want to finish it off for me?
yeah wa yaqulul kafiru ya laytani kuntu turaban.
Very nice, mashallah. Very nicely recited indeed. Just a few things I want to add now to the recitation. Do you know what this sign is called?
No.
Perfect. No worries. So you will say, it's called a mad saghir, okay? And we normally prolong it for around 3 to 5 seconds. So remember, when you say this, you will say inna and prolong it. Please say that for me.
Inna.
Very good, mashallah. And do you know, if there is a tashdid on top of a letter, what do we do?
Join the words together.
Very good. You join the words together, and you when you join these words together, you also like put a lot of pressure on it. Yes. Okay. So any letter that has got a tashdid on top, you will put pressure on it, all right? So just like you did with here, you're saying in, and you saw that we put pressure on this letter, right?
Yeah.
Very, very good. Now, this here, right here, this is a blank alif. It doesn't have a jazm or a sukoon, okay? Jazm, sukoon, you can refer to it either way. It's the same thing. Doesn't have a jazm or sukoon on top. And so we look at the letter before that, okay? What's this letter got on top?
Mm, mm, mm,
So this letter is a the. Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it called?
Fatah.
Very nice. So this is now a fatah. It's got a fatah on top. You look at the letter blank alif and you look at the letter before that. If the letter before that has got a fatha on top, we know we will prolong it for 2 seconds. Okay?
Okay.
So just to clarify again, we saw that there is a the, it's got a fatha on top. Rather than saying the, I'm going to say the and prolong it for 2 seconds. Why? Because the letter after that is a blank alif. And the da has fatha. So remember, if there's a blank alif, the letter before that has got a fatha on top, yeah? We will prolong it for 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Very good. And this here is a noon sakin. We normally give it a nasal sound, but there's different circumstances with that too. Not every noon sakin is given a nasal sound. Okay, we will not go into much detail with that today, but in future lessons, we will be practicing that with you. Okay, so just remember, yanzurul.
Okay.
Could you repeat that after me? Yanzurul.
Yazurul.
Okay, now you know this noon, this sound is like it's like a concealed sound, it's like a hidden sound of the noon. So just it comes from your nose. So try saying yang for me.
Yo.
Good, good, very good try actually. That was really good. Just keep practicing that, okay? And you will get there inshallah. And just remember when you were reciting this verse, I think you accidentally forgot to recite this too, but that's nothing to worry about. So just 2 questions I want to ask you quickly. We will prolong this for 2 seconds, okay? Just remember, we will prolong this for 2 seconds. Why? Because the letter before that has got what on top? What is this?
The letter on the top.
Yes, yes, very good. Mashallah, it's got a fatha on top. Very nicely said. Okay, did the rule make sense to you?
Yeah.
Sure?
Positive.
Very good, mashallah, nice. Right, Jazakallah khair for your time then. Take care.
Bye.
Jazakallah, Allah Hafiz. Okay, so we're basically now going to go back to the top. And we are now going to be reciting from the start again. Alhamdulillah, we have finished the surah. So now we're basically just going to start from the start again so that everyone has a chance to come on the mic and practice with me as much as they can. Okay, so co-host, may I please have another student on the mic?
Yes, our next student is G2189.
Okay, Jazakallah. G2. Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Good. And you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah for asking. Okay, so we're going to, well, you can start with that within this since I have already recited it. I don't need to say it. I will recite this verse, and could you please repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So here we go. عَمَّ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عما يتساءلون.
Very nice, mashallah, very nicely recited. I'm just going to highlight that so we can come back to it at the end. All right, moving on. عن النبأ العظيم.
عن النبأ العظيم.
Very nice, mashallah. Just remember this is an alif, okay? It may look like a lam, but it's the way it's joined. Inshallah, when you learn letters of the day, when lam comes up, you will understand what I mean. But just for now, remember it's an alif, okay?
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. الذي هم فيه مختلفون.
الذي هم فيه مختلفون.
Okay, just remember elongate this at the end. Okay, foon.
فون.
Very nice. كلا سيعلمون.
كلا سيعلمون.
Very nice. And this last one. ثم كلا سيعلمون.
ثم كلا سيعلمون.
Very nice, mashallah, very nicely recited. Let's just go back at the top and go through a few things with you, okay? So this is a meme. Do you know what the sign is called on top of the meme?
شدة.
Very nice, mashallah. So it's a shadda. We also can refer to it as a tashdid, but shadda is a good, more accurate way of saying it. It's in Arabic. So what happens when a letter's got a shadda on top?
Faucet.
Yes, you force it, you put pressure on it. So just remember, any letter with a shadda on top, you put a lot of pressure on it. But remember, if there is a meme or a noon that have got a shadda on top, you put even more pressure on it, okay? So those meme and noon are also your hunna letters. Do you know about hunna?
No.
No? Okay, no worries. You will be learning about that soon. Nothing to worry about. But just remember, noon and meme, if they have a tashdid, you put more pressure on it. And any other letter that's got a tashdid, you will initially put pressure on it. But with the noon and meme, you put more. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if you repeat after me, please recite after me this. Very nice. So as everyone at home can already hear as well, and also you can hear that we've now put more pressure on the meme. So we know that this is a meme that's got a tashdid on it, and it's also one of our gunna letters. But gunna is something that you will learn in upcoming lessons, okay? Now, do you know what this sign is called?
No.
No, no worries. It's called a mad kabir, okay? And it's prolonged for around 4 to 6 seconds. So when you're saying yatasa, make sure that you're prolonging it for a good 4 to 6 seconds. Could you now repeat this whole verse for me?
Okay.
Yeah, could you repeat this verse?
عما يتساءلون.
Very nice. Now, do you know the rule we learned today is called a rule? It's called Mudu, okay? And we learned that alif, vaw, and ya are 3 letters that are part of the Madud rule. So vaw is present, okay? What's the vaw got on top? Do you know what the sign is called?
A walnut. A waltz.
Well, yeah, very good. Well, this initially is a vowel mud, well done, but it's a vowel sakin as well at this point. We're looking at vowel sakin because it's got a jazm on top, yeah?
Yeah.
So there is a vowel with a jazm and the letter before that has a dhamma on top. So how long we will prolong that for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, well done. So rather than saying lun, you will say loon.
Loon.
Very good, mashallah, very nicely recited. And here we can see there is a noon with a tashdid, so we will put more pressure on it. This letter here, za, okay, it has a very unique sound. It's sort of like a thick sound, but that also comes with practice. So just try saying za for me.
Zo.
Very nice. Okay, just like a very thick sort of a sound that you're giving here. So let's say, let's do this together. Azim.
Azim.
Very nice, mashallah. if you are sort of like stopping here at this verse, recite this word for me, please.
Mukhtalifun.
Very nice. So a good thing that you did here is you prolonged it for 2 seconds at least, okay? At the end of a verse, you can normally prolong a letter for 2, 4, or 6 seconds, but we're not going into more detail with that. Just remember this is your vowel mud letter, and so we will prolong it for 2 seconds at least because the letter before that has got what on top? It's got a dhamma on top, yeah?
Yeah.
Good, good. And this is a kha. Try saying kha for me.
Kha.
Kha, very nice. So say mokh.
Mukh.
Very nice, mashallah. Okay, so you have very nicely recited it, mashallah. I hope that you can practice more and more, and inshallah, you'll be very fluent at this, okay?
Okay.
Take care then. Jazakallah khair for your time.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, so co-host, may I please have another student on the mic?
Yes, we have G2227. G2227.
Okay, Jazakallah. G2227. Assalamu alaikum. G2227. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, no worries. May we please move on to another student?
Oh, yes, we have G2240.
Yep, G2240. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, so are you confident in reciting this by yourself, or would you want me to lead you on?
You to lead me on.
Okay, no worries at all. I'm not going to recite Dawood and Tasmiyah, but when you repeat after me, please do make sure you recite Dawood and Tasmiyah, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So here we go. ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا.
Perfect. Very nicely recited. Just remember this is a Jim, yeah? So say Naj.
Nudge.
Perfect. Now next one. وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا
والجبال أوتادا.
Very nice, mashallah. Now next one. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا
وخلقناكم أزواجا.
Very nice, mashallah. Next one. وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا
وجعلنا نومكم سباتا.
Okay, Jazakallah. وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا
وجعلنا الليل لباسا.
Jazakallah khair. Very nicely recited. Let's just go through a few things together, okay? So if we look at this ayat, so this is where we started off from. I'll get rid of the highlighting in a second so that it's more easier for everyone else to see as well. This is a jim, yes, and if the jim has got a jazm on top or a sukoon, we normally give it a jerking sound. So do you know the rule of kalkala? Do you know what the rule is?
Yes.
Perfect. So do you know that there are 5 letters? If they have a jazm on top, we give a jerking sound. Am I right?
Yeah. Kat bajad.
Yes, very good. So you remembered it very well. It's kutbijad, very nice. This word kutbijad helps us remember the 5 letters more easily. So you have qaf, qa, ta, ba, jim, and dal. Yes?
Yes.
These are 5 letters. If they have got a jazm on top, you put pressure on it. And as we already know, jim is part of those 5 letters. And so we will give it a jerking sound, yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. So repeat after me. Naj.
Naj.
Very nice, mashallah. Very nicely recited. I just want to add at this point here, you recited it very well, but for all the students at home, this letter is a, okay, so do, we give a round mouth. Yeah, could you please me once?
The.
Okay, now, no worries, just remember, this is a dot. Let me just quickly find a the for you so that you can, so this letter here is a the, okay? This one's a the, and if you look at this one is a dod, okay? So just remember the difference between the two, okay? So
Okay.
repeat after me. Do.
Do.
Very nice, Mash. Now, this rule here, why did we prolong it for 2 seconds?
Because there's an alif after it. There's a fatha and then an alif after it.
Very good, very good. So you saw that there is a blank alif joined to a ta, and the ta has got a fatha on top, and therefore we prolonged it for how long?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Very good. So if we just do that again, awtada.
Awtada.
Here, qaf with a jazm. Are we going to be giving a jerking sound here or not?
Yes.
Very good. So as we just said, kutbijat, 5 letters, qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal. Qaf is part of those letters, and it's got a jazm on top, or a sukoon on top. So we will basically give it a jerking sound. So repeat after me. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ
وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ.
Very nice, mashallah. Very nicely recited. I just made like a weird looking triangle here because I'm not very good at making triangles using a highlighter. But let's just look at this one here. It's a noon with a fatha, and the letter after that is basically joining to a vowel with a jazm or a sukoon, okay? We know if there is a vowel with a sukoon on top and the letter before that has got a dhamma on top, we prolong it for 2 seconds. So you might ask yourself, well, the letter before that doesn't have a dhamma on top, but instead it has a fatha. So what would you do? You will merge the sound of the fatha and vowel together. So if I give you a demonstration, you will basically recite it as no. Okay, it's almost as if you're giving a na and a oo sound at the same time. So I'll say that one more time for you. No. Please say that for me. Very good, mashallah. And same thing goes here. Okay, we know ya sakin is one of the madud letters, haruful mad letters is one of those letters, and the letter before that, if it had a kasra underneath, we would have prolonged it for 2 seconds, but no, it doesn't have a kasra underneath. It has got a fatha on top. So how will we say it? Will we give it a fatha sound and a ya mixed together? Okay, so we will say layla.
Layla.
Very nice, mashallah. You really recited it very nicely. So as you know that you gave it an R sound because of the fatha, and you merged it with the ya sound, okay? So very nicely recited. Mashallah, it was a very good recitation from you today. Jazakallah khair for your time, and keep practicing this, okay?
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair, take care. Okay, so we are now just gonna quickly pause with reciting practicing this. Let me just put a mark here so that we know where we left off from. Okay, we're now going to look at, the letter of the day. So we are going to be looking at two letters. Let me go here. Yes. So we are going to be looking at two letters today. Our focus is on two letters. This is one of the letters that we're going to be looking at. Most of you would already know the sound of it, but let me just say the sound to you once and twice actually, so you can actually hear clearly how we should say this letter. So here we go. Ayn. And I'll say that one more time. Ayn. Now this letter is basically prolonged for 5 seconds, okay? Now you might ask me, well, if I'm explaining something to someone, you don't expect me to say ayn for 5 seconds, like for 5 seconds, that's really long. That's very understandable. So when you're explaining something to someone, then you can just say like ayn, like that. But remember, the accurate and the proper way of pronouncing this letter is for 5 seconds, when you're long for 5 seconds. Ayn has got no dots on top, okay, so that's how it's recognized. It can join to the letter previous, so the letter before that, and it can also join to the letter after that, okay? So if we look at this, if an ayn, so this is how an ayn looks isolated, so an ayn that is not joining to anything, it's just alone, this is what it looks like. If the ayn is joining to the letter after it, you can see that this long, round, semi-half circle that's here is now going to vanish. It's not going to be there. Instead, you're basically just going to use the top part of the letter. So we're now joining that top part of the letter to this next letter here, okay? So you can already see the difference. It's only got the top part of the letter there. So when it's joining, that long bottom part of the letter is not joined. So here you can see, in this case, it's joining to two letters. It's joining to the letter before and the letter after. Here you can see that not only has the direction changed, before the ayn was facing this way, okay? Now it's facing this way. So just remember that the direction would change if it would come in between two letters, if it's joining to two letters at the same time. So it's joining to the ta here and it's joining to the ba here as well. If the join was if there was a letter that was joining to an ayn, right, and the ayn was at the end, so at the final part of the word, then you will write it literally like it's written in the isolated form. So like here, you will include the top part and you will include the bottom part. All right. So here the meme is joining to the ayn and we're writing the ayn fully in the right direction. Just remember, if ayn is joining to two different letters, okay, could be the same letters as well. If ayn is joining to the letter before and to the letter after, then its direction, so the way it's facing, will change. So now it's facing to the left side, and it joins like this, okay? One side of it goes to the ta, and one side of it goes to the ba. And if we just look at an example combined of these ayns joined together, here, as I said, the side has changed because this ayn is joining to two more letters, okay? So this is what it looks like. When they say it can join to the letter before and it can join to the letter after, this is what they mean. So the ayn being able to join the ta and the ba as well. And how do we pronounce it? Well, the sound comes from the middle of your throat, okay? So we don't say ayn. That would be the wrong way of saying it. We will say ayn, and the ah sound, just remember that comes from your throat. So remember that ayn sound comes from your throat. And that is something that normally just comes with practice, okay? So just before moving on, I will just say this once more for you. Ayn, okay? That's the rule of ayn. The next letter that we're going to be looking at is a ha. Okay, so here, this letter we're prolonging it for 5 seconds again, and I'll say that once more for you. Ha. Okay. The letter can be joined to, the ha has got no dots, and it can be joined to a previous letter and to the next letter as well. So here, we can clearly see the ha has not only changed its appearance, it's now joining to the next letter as well. And it can also be joined to the letter before that. Yes? So here, so as you can see, the appearance is actually changing in all these in all these examples. This is what isolated ha looks like, okay? But if a ha is joining to the letter after it, this is what it will look like. It's the appearance has changed. And here the ha's appearance has changed even more, considering the fact that it's joining to the letter before and after, okay, in between. If the ha was supposed to be joined towards the end, now if it's the last letter of a word, then this is what the ha will look like, okay? So remember, ha has no dots, it's prolonged for 5 seconds. It can be joined to the letter previous and next letter. And where does the sound come from? Well, it comes from the bottom of the throat. Okay, so I will give a demonstration for that again. Ha, and I've prolonged for 5 seconds. Now, just before we move on, can I please call on the G2 in charge? You just... G2 in charge, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, then. And I'm sharing my screen, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to, if I can just explain a little thing about the ayn. Well done for explaining that quite nicely. I just wanted to explain a little bit about why this ayn here looks the way that it does. And I'll just use my highlighter to show you why the shape looks this way. If I just go for the red, what's actually happening is the writing is going like this and back and like this. Okay, that's how it's going, and that's why that shape is the way that it is. Here, the writing goes like this and that way, which is why the shape looks exactly the same as it does here. But when you've got a letter from before joining into it and going afterwards, the way that you write it is like this. The ta is coming round, and then you go across to the ayn, you come back, and then you go. And so you maintain the top. And that's why this looks that way. Okay? It's not that it's actually changing its direction. It's just the way that you would write if you were writing it by hand. And that's really the only point I wanted to clarify.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Okay.
Very nicely explained.
Okay. And if you could have the screen back.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Jazakallah khair, G2 in charge.
No.
Okay, so now we're going to, now that we've seen how we would write out the letter as well and why it changes its appearance, we're now going to move on basically back to Surah An-Naba. We're just going to go through a few more students will help me recite this surah. That's not... Hang on with me 2 seconds. Here we are. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to call another student on the mic so that we can carry on practicing the surah. Co-host, may I please have another student on the mic?
Yes, we have G2192, please.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today? How are you? Good, alhamdulillah. Okay, so do you want me to help you recite this, or are you willing to do it by your own?
I would like you to recite this back.
Sorry, I can't really hear you. Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you? So would you want to do it by your own, or do you want me to help you repeat it?
I would do my own.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with Ta'awudh and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجعلنا النهار معاشا.
Yes, perfect. Carrying on.
وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا.
Very nice, mashallah, very nicely recited. I'm just going to clarify a few things with you. Okay, so if we start off with this verse here, as I mentioned before, do you remember what happens if a letter has got a tashdid on top? Or a shadda on top? Like this one's got a shadda on top.
Yes.
What happens to the letter? Yeah, do you remember what do we do to the letter?
You pronounce it very hardly.
Yes, very good, mashallah. So any letter's got a tashdid, we put pressure on it, okay? We put pronounce it hardly, as you said. If I just do a quick demonstration, na, and here I'm putting pressure on top. Now this letter, what is this letter called?
Ain.
Very good. So this was also a letter of the day. Where do you know where the sound comes from? Try saying Ain for me.
1 minute. Middle of the throat.
Yes, very good. It comes from the middle of your throat. So Ain, all right? So when you're saying this, Ma'asha. Could you say that for me, please?
Ma'asha.
Very good. So just make sure that the sound comes from the middle of the throat. Well done. Again here, we will say an. Okay. Well, alone. If we don't look at after it, just if you were looking at it alone, this has got a fathatain on top. Okay. So we will say an, but because the letter after that is a sheen, we will give a nasal sound. Okay. So we will say sab'an shidada. Could you say that for me, please?
Sab'an shidada.
Very good. So we're giving a nasal sound here. And here, I've highlighted these three letters. Well, these two in particular, I've put the tashdid on top, or the shadda on top. When you were reciting it, you just need to make sure that you put pressure on it. So repeat after me. جوهاجا.
جوهاجا.
Very good. Now, if I'm reciting this letter here, I'm saying sira. Why am I prolonging it for 2 seconds?
Because it has alif after a fatha.
Very good, very nicely said. There is a blank alif, it's got no sukoon or jazm on top, and the letter before that has got a fatha on top, and that's why we're prolonging it for 2 seconds. Yeah? And this I'm prolonging this at the end, even though I'm stopping, I'm pausing at the end of a verse, I'm still prolonging it for 2 seconds. And that's something you will learn with your rules. So just remember, when I'm pausing here, I will prolong for 2 seconds. Okay? So if you repeat after me from the start, yeah, are you ready?
Yes.
Good, okay.
وجعلنا النهار معاشا.
Very good. Just remember, any letter that's got a fatha dhamma kasra on top, you will only prolong it for 1 second. So, وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ.
وجعلنا النهار.
Very good. Please finish off for me.
معاشا.
Very good.
وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا.
Okay, just remember, that was very nicely recited, by the way, but just remember, this is an ayn, okay? So we're giving it, well, the sound is coming from the middle of your throat, but here, we're not saying ah, we're saying ah. So we're giving like a nasal sound, okay?
Okay.
So let's try that again. Sab'an.
سبعا.
Yep, say that for me. Perfect, very nicely recited. Could you please recite this last verse for me?
وجعلنا سراجا وهجا.
Very nice. Just remember, when you're joining the jim to the vowel mushaddad, you're putting pressure, and then that same vowel mushaddad is being joined to the ha mushaddad too, and then we're prolonging it for 2 seconds because of the blank alif and the fatha that comes before. So just remember, jam wahaja. Please repeat that for me. Could you please repeat that for me?
وهجا. وهجا.
Okay, very nicely. Okay, very nicely recited. Jazakallah khair. Very nice recitation. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so before I go on to what your homework is and everything, I'm just going to basically do a bit of the recitation of this from the start to where we've gotten up to today, which is verse 14. Follow along the screen with me, and if I can in between, I'll try and explain 1 or 2 more rules in this, okay? So here we go. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عما يتساءلون. So remember, we're prolonging this for 4 to 6 seconds because it's mad kabir, okay? عن النبأ العظيم الذين هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون. So here you can see there is like a blank alif sort of attached with the lam, okay? And the blank alif has got a letter before that which has got a fatha on top, and that's the whole reason why I prolonged it for 2 seconds. This is your alif mad rule, okay? The rule that we've covered today. ثم كلا سيعلمون. So yeah. ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا. This is one of the rules that I went through today, one of the letters. Dod, sort of a round mouth is given when we're saying it, yeah? Sort of a thick round mouth sound. وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. So qaf, one of your kalkala letters, we are going to be giving a jerking sound here, yeah? وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا وَبَنَيْنَا فَوْقَكُمْ سَبْعًا شِدَادًا. So don't forget we're giving a nasal sound here, and remember this blank alif here, right? We're prolonging it for 2 seconds. It's an alif mad letter because the letter before that has got fatha on top. وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا. Okay, so I hope I could make it a bit more clear to everyone as to, you know, how it should be pronounced, every word, how it should be recited. Let's just quickly look at your homework. So we went through Surah and finished the verses, and we were able to start again, and we got up to verse 14. So please make sure that you keep practicing it. Make sure that you give very much so attention. You give a lot of attention to letters that have that we need to prolong for 2 seconds. Okay, your madud letters in particular. So your alif, blank alif, your vaw sakin, your ya sakin. Make sure you need to look at the letter before that. Okay, to figure out if it's a madud letter or not, and then seconds. Make sure that when you recite the Holy Quran that you apply all the rules in it that you already know, and you can help to, you know, learn more rules and understand the rules in more depth by using the PDF or using your own Quran, by using the PDFs, and then you can use your own Quran to practice the rules in, okay? We went through 2 letters today, Ain and Ha. Keep practicing that too. Just bear in mind the 2 letters from, with the Ain in the throat, with the Ha, the sound comes from the bottom of the throat, okay? And these are letters of the throat, okay? I want you to practice them if you can for more practice. The more practice of writing out the letters you have, the better it is. So you have your ghain, ain, al, hamza, ha, ha, and kha. Okay, these are the letters. So remember, learn these letters. You should know that these are the letters that the sound of these letters come from your throat. And if you can, write these letters out as much as you can. Now, just before we end the class, may I please have a student on the mic to recite the closing dua for me, please, co-host?
Yes, we have G2 228, please.
Yes, G2 228. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. If you could recite Dawood and Tasmiyah and read the following prayer for me, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم.
Very nicely recite me.
O Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great.
Jazakallah khair. Very nicely recited. Jazakallah. Okay, so this was the class for today, everyone. We went through the rule of Mudud and we went through 2 letters as well today. Please make sure that you do your homework, practice as much as you can, and inshallah, we will see you in another class of ours. Until then, take care of yourselves, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.